Hi. Hi again. I guess that's
We're back.
I guess that's my thing again. So if you watched our last video, you know that we asked for questions. We want to know what you guys want to know about us. So this is our first Q&A.
Yes, and we got some funny questions. We have some serious questions, so a little bit in between. So thank you all for the questions. And let's start. Let's just jump in.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Mine would definitely be Hawaii. That's no questions asked, Hawaii. I love the beach.
Ocean, beach, yep. You love that. You love that life. I would probably live somewhere near Boston, maybe not in the city. I don't like city life, but I love New England. We were stationed there for almost 5 years in Rhode Island, and I just love all 4 seasons.
That's one thing we're complete opposite on is I love humidity, she likes cold. I love hot, she loves 4 seasons. I hate winter, she loves winter.
True. Our next question is support system. Since you live so far away from your family, do we have one? 100% yes, we do. We think we're the luckiest because we do have such an amazing support system. We grew up military, and as we were growing up, we really only had each other. We relied on each other every move.
Our friends continuously were changing in new places. Our house was continuously changing, but inside the home, the one consistent thing in our life, and so that really made us all so much closer. So no matter where we live, we have a great support system.
Yes. Are the kids immunocompromised? I'm assuming yes for Tyler, but what about Cora? Are they on any medication?
Cora is no. Some genes with LCA is associated with a syndrome, such as Joubert syndrome, things like that. But for Cora's instance, no. Hers is strictly isolated to the eye.
Tyler, I don't think he necessarily is. We've always been told to treat him as he is, though. He is a cardiac patient. He had open heart surgery. He has kidney issues, and just given everything medically that comes along with Williams syndrome, it's just safer to assume yes, he most likely is. No, he's not on any medication, thank goodness. His labs and scans have been pretty steady, so we haven't had to experience any of that yet. What is our go-to coffee order at Starbucks?
Oh, I was gonna say which one, Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Okay,
I got 2 separate. Okay.
You go.
Starbucks vanilla latte, and if I had a really rough day or something, then I get extra espresso in there. Extra espresso.
My Starbucks is normally an iced coffee. Recently I've been doing toffee nut and sugar-free vanilla with some half and half. Dunkin' is, I like the iced hazelnut coffee.
And normally I say I'll have what she has because she orders for me. But if not, they have really, their refresher is so good too. I can't remember what it is.
It's the green tea, strawberry, dragon fruit.
Oh my god.
That was really good too.
It's my favorite.
How is it moving with a special needs child? I'm sure it's hard. I'm
going to leave this to her because we haven't had to experience it yet, but just watching her, it's like it's a checklist. There's a lot.
So we moved a couple months after diagnosis, and it was
from
different.
Boston. You guys, I mean Newport, from Newport.
Yeah, from Rhode Island to Virginia, and it was difficult only because Tyler had so many and has so many specialty doctors. So we had to get consults for all of them. They wanted to know about him, and they wanted to review everything that he had, you know, all his scans, his labs that he had got done prior. So that's very difficult, and then having to find new therapists, getting the kids enrolled in school, going through the IEP process, it's definitely not easy. And then once you do feel like, okay, you know, we're in our groove, we're in our routine, it's time to move again. It's just a constant headache.
Yeah, we're due to transfer next year, and I'm dreading it right now. Just even in general, just the process of getting the referrals and waiting for those to go through, and then finding a doctor, not just a doctor that you like, a doctor you love and who's going to love your child the way that you love them, and you know, you just want the best for them. So you really do your research on doctors.
How do you make sure each sibling gets enough attention? It's hard for me personally because I have kids with such big age gaps, but we do our best. We try to have moments where we spend time with our oldest, and then, you know, we have moments where we spend time with Tyler. Avery, she doesn't know much, but we still like to have our time with each child. I think that's very key for us, just making them each feel like they're special and not one is more than the other.
For us, Kai is 2 and Cora's 1, so we're busy. Our life is very, very busy, so it's not much different. You know, they both require so much attention from both of us all the time that it's more how do we juggle taking care of ourselves.
For sure. What is our favorite show that we're watching at the moment?
Ooh, I like dark crime. I'm weird, so I'm watching Hannibal.
Yeah, that was
on Netflix.
I mean, I'm kind of the same. I watch a lot of like Dateline and The Oxygen, and the ID Investigation channel is an app on my Apple TV. But I mean, Friends. It's always Friends, right?
Yep. Well, that's what we do. We watch scary stuff, and then we're like, oh my gosh, what was that noise? So then we have to turn on Friends, sometimes Disney, whatever, and that's like our background, our white noise when we fall asleep at night is Friends.
Yeah. How do you remain so strong? Tyler and Cora, our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to. We do it for them.
Yeah.
If we aren't strong, if they don't have that foundation, how can they be the same? How can they thrive? How can they advance?
I think this applies to all of our kids.
Right.
You know, they're looking at us on how we react to the world and to stress and to hard obstacles and things like that. And so we are leading by example with all of our children, so we want them to see that it's okay if things are hard, and you know, they're watching how we work through it and how we handle things, and so that's our strength right there.
Yep. And I kind of look at it as I don't really have another choice. It's my one and only choice, and that's what I was dealt, and that's how I'm gonna continue on.
Hashtag mom strength. We had an amazing role model for a mom, you know, growing up. So she never once complained. She just always, there was 4 of us, so her life was very, very, very busy. My brothers are twins, and so we watched her have this mom strength. And so I think that's where we got our foundation, was watching her, and we are trying to be half of the mom that she is.
Half of that foundation. I 100% agree with all of that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find our other questions. What are your biggest fears for your kiddos as special needs parents?
I would say, and it's the same for both Kai and Cora, them thinking that they can't do something. That's my biggest fear, is I want them to find a way. You can find a way. You can adapt to anything, and you may not get it the first time, but you just keep trying, and eventually you will. You know, that's my biggest fear, is them tripping and not getting back up.
I would say that's one of mine as well. And I know I can speak for my husband too, because that was one of the things that he gets very defensive when somebody says, oh, Tyler, I don't think you can do that. One of my biggest fears is him feeling like he doesn't belong. Like he doesn't belong into our family because he is different, because he doesn't belong at school with his friends because he's different. I just want him to know how amazing he is, how normal he is. To us, we don't look at him any differently, but I'm so scared for other people to look at him that way and then make him feel like he's different.
And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this.
And in the given, the stuff that comes along with Williams syndrome, the cardiac issues, that is terrifying for us. So I feel like that's an obvious, fear, is just, I have a lot of hospital, doctor office, PTSD, anxiety related to not just Tyler, to all of my kids, and that stemmed from everything that Tyler has gone through. I would say those are my two biggest two biggest fears?
Another one of mine. We have a lot of fears.
Yeah.
What do we not fear? But if another one of my fears is, and I'm working on it right now, is the day that she may ask me, well, how come I can't see and my brother can? I don't know why that question scares me, because I don't want to not being able to make her feel better, or not. My fear is that question. I don't know why it makes me sweat. I'm sweating right now thinking about it. I'm not ready to answer that, and I know at the time
I don't think there's an easy answer for that, honestly.
And that's what I fear.
Yeah.
I fear not knowing what to say, you know, and I have to remind myself that sometimes it's okay to not say anything. It's okay to not know and say, you know, yeah.
But that's why teaching our children at very young ages that there are different people out there, but that doesn't make them different. We are all the same. We all have feelings. We all crave that interaction from others.
Everyone just wants to be accepted, you know, with all your differences. How far away from your birthplace do you live now? I was born in New Hampshire, so like, I mean, now I'm at Jacqueline's house, so I'm in Virginia, so I'm kind of close, northeast.
I'd say you're probably like 10-ish hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm a couple days to about 3,000 miles. I was born in California.
I'm telling you, military family. We were born, we have a list, like,
Yeah.
we all were born in different places. We all went to school in different places. How many tattoos do you have?
You go first, because I'm going to count mine.
I have one and done. That was it. And I only got it because she wanted to get sister tattoos, and that was the only reason why. It was because she's my best friend, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll get it. And the whole time I was like, I got it on the back of my neck.
Well,
we both did.
We'll insert some pictures. Ours are matching, so
they're
I'll show you what they are.
Yes, it says wait, what does it say? What's mine say?
Yes, mine.
I forget I have it because you can't see it.
Be the one to guide me, but never hold me down.
Yes, be the one to guide me, but never hold me down. She has be the one to guide me. I couldn't even tell you which one I had.
We'll insert pictures. So she has the one. I have the one on my neck. I have dog tags on my shoulder. That was my very first one. It has Jordan and Jay's name in it. I have my maiden name on my wrist. I have an anchor and a U.S. CG for the United States Coast Guard on my ankle for my dad. And then I have this one is Tyler's heartbeat off of his first echo after he had open heart surgery. So there's that one.
She's a lot more brave than me.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5.
Okay, are you a morning person or a night owl? I do not like waking up early. I am not a morning person. I never have been. I'm a night owl.
I would say I'm a morning person.
Yeah, she's the one that is like, we have to be there when the store is open. And I'm like, okay, can we go to Dunkin' first or Starbucks? And she already has it already ordered because she knows that I'm not a morning person.
Yeah. I would say, though, I have, with 3 kids, I like to stay up a little bit later now because it's like the only time I have for myself. So it is a little bit more difficult for me to get up in the morning, but I would say I'm more a morning person. All right. So how did you feel after diagnosis?
You go first.
We do not like this question. I'm not gonna lie, it was very difficult.
It's not that we don't like the question, it's we still feel it. I mean, even diagnosis was 4 years later for her, and we still feel all those emotions. It's just hard to explain. I mean, we get it because we both went through it, and if you went through it, you know exactly this feeling that we're talking about. But if you haven't gone through it, I hope you never do, because it's just that's how I feel.
For me, I am not somebody that likes to go back to those places. I don't like being all up in my feels, and I don't like to be emotional, even though I am when it comes to the number one thing that makes me emotional is talking about Tyler and his
And your
journey
kids,
and
yeah.
but other than that, I am not an emotional person. I don't like going to that place. I just out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And for me, it felt like a death sentence. I know it wasn't. Looking back, it definitely was not. But it was life-changing. It's not, I think you have mentioned it in maybe our Meet Us video. That was not the life that we envisioned for our child. And to kind of throw away everything that we ever thought was gonna be of his life and kind of retrain our minds was difficult. It was very hard.
Well, and a lot of it's kind of like an out-of-body experience. That's the way I look back on it. I feel like it was just this one nightmare that I think back on, and it's like I remember weird certain things. I remember sitting there, but I don't remember the conversation with the doctor. I just remember certain little tiny details of that day, but then I just remember driving home too, and there's just a lot of crying. It's a lot of really trying to digest everything because it's a lot, and like she said, it's life changing, and that day, I am not the same person that I was from the day before that day. I think I'm a better person, but it took me a lot of time to get to where I'm at now. I think I cried for 2 weeks straight. I called her and my mom a million times just to cry, and I had to get it all out. And it makes me emotional thinking back to like that place, because it just seems like a different person. I don't feel like I'm there, but it's human. It's human for you to feel that way because it is life-changing,
Yep, and it's your child. You don't want to think about them struggling. You don't want to think about having to explain to them why they might not be able to do something and their siblings can.
Yeah, and you go to well, what about this? Well, what about this? And what if this? And how are they going to do this? And that's where your mind spirals, like just down. Like you're like, how can they do this? Or you think about all the what ifs, and that is the scariest place to be in, because you already are fearing all those things. But she told me, Cora is going to set her limitations. You have to wait and let her set those limitations, and same with Tyler. And in that moment you don't see it that way. You see it like, well, they're not going to be able to do this, or what about this, and they're going to struggle with this, and school, and just all of these all at one time. So just put all that into one day, and that's diagnosis day for me. Was my brain was going a million places, running a million miles an hour, and digesting everything. It's a big pill.
You're grieving the child that you thought you were going to have, the future that you envision for them. And I have gone through grief recently, and I can't explain it any other way other than having a child with special needs. You go through all of those stages of grief constantly, and it's just like a cycle. I feel like they do get better. You have a lot more better days than you do bad days, but we still have those bad days. And we'll get into, I think we're both going to do a whole separate video at some point on diagnosis day,
because it's such an important day, especially for any parent who with anything had a child that was diagnosed with anything. It is such a powerful emotional day, and
that was our starting line. That day, diagnosis day, was the starting line. So that's just part of our story. As much as we hate going back to that place, we need to start there. We need to let you guys know that's it's just part of our story. That's the beginning of our story. It's that first chapter. And I think it's the hardest one for us, but it definitely each chapter gets better.
Yep. All right. So we got that one. We're going to end it on a lighter question. Can you close your eyes and raise your eyebrows?
For sure.
Did I do it? You did.
Wait, are they moving? It's easy, right?
Yeah, that one's easy. Okay, can you touch your tongue to your nose?
No. Can you get close?
I know, I do the bad. And that's it. Hope you learned a little bit about us. Little preview on a future video that we are working on is if you want to get to know the husbands and who drives us crazy and we love so much, we are going to actually do a question and answer and let you in on our hubbies. So stay tuned for that, and have a great week, everyone.